Good morning, everyone. Well, here it is, the 16th of June, just about halfway through the year, and it's a chilly old day here in Pukekai. Now, in today's video, it's all about our stomach acid. What on earth has that got to do with IBS and leaky gut, you may say? Well, good question. But first, just a reminder that this information is all sound science, but made simple so we can understand it. And it is available to anyone if you have the time and determination to look for it. So it's no secret. And with each video, we are joining the dots so we can understand what the underlying cause of IBS and leaky gut syndrome is. Only then will we know how, why, and what we have to do to fix it. That's right. Anything and everything that we swallow always first ends up in our stomach. Now back to that stomach diagram. So get this, our stomach is full of hydrochloric acid with a pH of around 2. That's right, 2. And that is actually more acidic than the acid in a car battery. Wow. And our stomach is made up of specialist cells that make the hydrochloric acid, and they can resist it. That's right. Our stomach cannot be injured by the concentration of hydrochloric acid that it makes. Well, that's good to know. And it is at this stage that the food and any invading bacteria, fungi, and viruses that end up in our stomach are mixed with the full-strength acid, killed, and everything is broken down into a slurry of small subatomic particles ready to be digested in our small intestine. Pretty straightforward. So nothing on the outside can get past our stomach without first going through that acid bath. Now that high acid slurry mixture is then gradually diluted to a specific lower pH, at which stage is then passed through into our upper small intestine, ready to be absorbed into our blood system. You see, no living organism or even virus can survive that high acidic level, so ideally, none get through to interfere with the small intestine digestive operation. Ideally. And, as it turns out, nutrients need to be in a specific diluted acid pH at the top of our upper intestine to be able to be absorbed into our body. That is the natural state. That's how it works. When the diluted acidity of the food coming from our stomach is not at the correct level, our body can't absorb the nutrients. Yeah, that's right, which is a common reason why we can end up nutrient deficient. So, the upper small intestine is always in a slightly diluted acidic state resulting from the acid mix in the food being digested. Again, making it not a good place for bacteria to survive in a healthy state, even if they were to get there. But here's the problem. The strength of the stomach acid is based on an ancient evolutionary response millions of years old, and it is in all creatures. Now, in us humans, that is called our ancient human stress response, which is a response to a sense of danger of any kind. Now, a lot of people know about this. When our stress response is activated for any reason, and remember, our stress response is our body's automatic survival-based reaction to any perceived threats, a side effect is that all blood supply and energy not required for the escape from the potential danger, which has triggered our stress response, is instantly diverted to parts of our body such as our muscles, lungs, and heart, which will be crucial for the coming fight or flight reaction to escape the perceived threat. Now get this, our appetite and digestion process, along with the necessary hydrochloric acid production, is not critical in that potential survival moment, so it is halted until the body senses the stress threat has passed. It's halted. And that is a natural and normal effect. Now, another problem. With long-term stress in our life, the stress response can be continually switched on and elevated, and therefore the hydrochloric acid production is halted for a long time, or only producing weak acid content. And that could have been going on for years, as so many people today are living with an elevated sense of stress, which to them feels like it is normal. Yeah. Now get this, because it's one of those keys. In that period, without the addition of the acidic hydrochloric acid based in our stomach, opportunistic invading specific bacteria, the fermenting bacteria and fungi, etc., simply drift into and even past our stomach. Yeah. With the hydrochloric acid factory shut down, there is only a residual amount of hydrochloric acid remaining. So little that over time the bacteria can even set up shop in the stomach lining itself, where the hydrochloric acid is made. For real. They then create pain and more stress on our body, which keeps the acid production turned down and the bacteria thrive. Now, back to that stomach diagram again. Any bacteria that get to pass through this killing zone of the stomach acid unchallenged set up shop in the top of the small intestine, which is sterile. Ideally, no competition from other bacteria species, not very acidic, and happens to be the next step past that kill zone of the highly acidic stomach and acid stage, and therefore they are now unaffected by the stomach acid, even if it did get back to full strength, because the stress in your life had reduced or gone. Wow. So, by pure luck and timing, they end up in a warm, damp, safe environment, sterile conditions, good food, oxygen supply, and very minimal acid residue concentration that they can survive. All ingredients they need to thrive and rapidly multiply in numbers. Faster than the gut bile and natural flow of all food being carried down the small intestine to the large bowel, where they normally would be killed and pooed out. And their existence in such numbers in that top part of our small intestine damages the gut lining and causes the pain that we feel. And that also contributes to our body feeling stressed, here we go again, which automatically means an elevated stress response, which means a further reduction in the hydrochloric acid levels. Goodness me. But if it's long-term stress in our life, then our body is all out of balance, and those bacteria can even survive down to the large colon. Now, over time, they are now even interfering with the large gut or colon process itself and create the same issues at this level. And that is also the connection as to why most people with IBS or leaky gut or any of the associated syndromes associated with these two things have over time endured a lot of stress in their life. It's something you could really plot on a piece of paper. Yes, could that be you? I wonder. Then without knowing, the more stress we feel, the more subconsciously we target high energy, yummy glucose fuels. That's right, to fuel our stress response, fight or flight, which are also consumed by an ever-growing colony of bad bacteria and fungi, those fermenting bugs, which create even more stress, and around it goes. But boy, oh boy, have we got a surprise for them. We'll catch up with that later. Okay, nice job everyone. Now, I'm glad to hear that for some of you, this information is the first time that you have received any explanation of what has been going on with your health in relation to irritable bowel and leaky gut. And remember, if you know someone with this issue, then pass the information on. It can be so handy. And if you want to learn about our stress response, then go back to the first of my YouTube videos, all about stress, all lowercase, and make your way through the list. They're only about 5 to 10 minute videos, plus tons of excellent scientific references. Okay, nice job. We'll catch you later. Bye-bye.